Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. Today we're tackling Make Your Bed, the book by Admiral McRaven.
Oh yeah, this one's popular.
Yeah, it is. And so, whether you're facing some sort of a huge challenge right now, maybe you're needing some inspiration,
Yeah.
or you love a good life hack.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, we're going to be unpacking McRaven's 10 principles, which he kind of forged in the intensity of SEAL training to see how they apply to your life.
Interesting. It's always fascinating to me how authors can connect these seemingly simple actions.
Right.
Like literally making your bed to much bigger ideas about, success and resilience and things like that.
Exactly. It's like there's a real art to that, taking something so mundane and revealing the deeper meaning behind it.
Yeah, totally.
Right. So principle number 1 is start your day with a task completed.
Okay.
And McRaven really emphasizes making your bed first thing in the morning. What is the psychology behind that? Is it just about creating some sense of order visually when you walk into your room?
Well, I think it's more than just visual order. I think it's also just this feeling of accomplishment, however small.
Okay.
Right? You start the day by actually achieving something. Right. Setting a positive tone.
Okay.
And there's actually research on this, small wins, they call it.
Oh, interesting.
And these tiny achievements, they actually can trigger a dopamine release in the brain.
Oh, wow.
So you actually get a little bit of a reward, a little a motivation boost.
So you're hacking your brain.
Yeah, totally.
To feel productive right off the bat.
Exactly.
I can see how that would be really powerful, especially for someone who struggles with procrastination.
Oh, yeah.
Getting started is always the hardest part.
Totally.
Okay. And speaking of support, you can't go it alone is principle number 2.
Right.
McRaven talks about swim buddies in SEAL training, where they literally depend on each other to survive.
Yeah.
It's life or death.
Yep.
This one really resonated with me because it made me think about the people you lean on in your own life.
Yeah.
Your own personal support system.
Totally. And it's not just about having people around you.
Right.
It's about cultivating those relationships where you can be vulnerable, where you can ask for help and celebrate successes together.
Yeah.
And there's tons of research showing that strong social connections are absolutely crucial for well-being and resilience and all that.
Makes sense.
So think about it who are your swim buddies?
That is a really good question to ask yourself.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you realize how important it is to nurture those relationships.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you're going to need to lean on them.
Totally.
Okay, principle number 3 seems to challenge the notion that you need to be the biggest or the strongest to succeed.
Right.
Only the size of your heart matters.
Yeah.
What's the story behind this one?
So McRaven actually talks about how some of the most impressive SEALs weren't these big, physically imposing guys.
Interesting.
They were the ones with incredible grit and determination.
Okay.
And it kind of ties into the idea of the growth mindset.
Okay, remind me, what is growth mindset again?
So growth mindset is basically the belief that you can develop your abilities through dedication and hard work. Right. So it's not about being born with some talent.
Oh, okay.
It's about embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow.
I see.
So even if you don't feel naturally gifted in a certain area, you can still excel if you're willing to put in the effort.
Oh.
It's all about believing in your potential to evolve.
That is such an empowering message.
Yeah, for sure.
It reminds me of that quote, it's not about being perfect, it's about being better than you were yesterday.
I love that.
So having the right attitude can sometimes be even more important than raw talent. Okay, and that leads perfectly into principle number 4, get over being a sugar cookie.
Okay.
All right, what is the deal with the sugar cookie?
So picture this. You're a SEAL trainee, you mess up, and your punishment is to jump in the ocean fully clothed and then roll around in the sand until you're covered head to toe. So you become a sugar cookie.
Oh, we get it.
The point is, life isn't always fair, right? You'll face setbacks.
Right.
Sometimes for no good reason at all.
Yeah.
And so it's about accepting
Yeah.
that things won't always go your way.
Right.
And learning to deal with those setbacks in a constructive way.
So it's like not wallowing in self-pity or blaming other people.
Exactly. It's not about that. It's about recognizing what you can control, which is your attitude, your effort, your response to the situation.
So like dwelling on the unfairness of it all isn't going to change anything.
Totally. It is what it is.
Okay, well, that's a tough pill to swallow sometimes.
No, I know.
but it is a good reminder to focus on what you can actually influence.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, on to principle number 5. Don't be afraid of the circus.
Ooh, the circus.
This sounds intriguing and maybe a little bit terrifying at the same time.
Yeah, well, the circus was infamous in SEAL training.
Oh, no.
It was basically this brutal extra workout reserved for those who messed up during the day.
Okay.
But McRaven actually points out that as awful as it was,
Yeah.
the circus actually made them stronger.
Really?
Yeah, they learned to push through extreme discomfort, and they emerged more resilient on the other side.
So it's like sometimes you have to lean into the tough stuff, the things that scare you, because that's where the growth happens.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And there's actually a concept called anti-fragility.
Anti-fragility?
Have you heard of this?
I don't think so.
It's really cool. It essentially means becoming stronger because of challenges,
Okay.
not just in spite of them.
Okay, break that down for me.
All right, so think of it this way. Some things break under pressure, right?
Yeah.
But other things actually need stress to thrive.
Okay.
Like your bones, for example.
Okay.
Your bones actually need the stress of impact to become denser.
Interesting.
So anti-fragility is about developing that ability to not just bounce back from challenges,
Right.
but to actually level up because of them.
I like that, anti-fragility.
Yeah.
So it's not about avoiding challenges altogether.
Right.
It's about approaching them with the right mindset, knowing that they can actually make you stronger in the long run.
Exactly.
That's a game changer.
It is.
All right, McRaven's next principle builds on that idea. Slide down the obstacle head first.
I love this one.
Okay, that sounds a little reckless.
I know, right?
Tell me more about this one.
Okay, so he describes this obstacle course with this giant rope slide. And the guys who went down feet first,
Yeah.
they were slower, more cautious,
Okay.
but the ones who just went for it head first were the fastest. And so there's a lesson there about calculated risk-taking.
So it's not about being like blindly reckless.
No.
It's about knowing when to kind of push your limits
Exactly.
and take that leap of faith.
Yeah. It's about recognizing that sometimes playing it safe
Yeah.
actually keeps you from reaching your full potential.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you got to weigh the risks and rewards, trust your gut,
Yeah.
and be willing to just like make that bold move.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these seemingly simple principles are actually layered with so much depth.
Right.
This next one is both terrifying and inspiring.
Okay.
Don't back down from the sharks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing this is more than just ocean survival advice.
Way more than that.
Okay, good.
So McRaven talks about swimming in shark-infested waters during training.
Oh my gosh.
And the instructors told him, like, if a shark approaches, you don't swim away.
What?
Yeah. Stand your ground, even punch in the nose. It's wild.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's about not letting fear paralyze you.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
So it's like a metaphor for facing our fears head on, not letting them control us.
Totally. But, you bring up a good point. Like, how do you know which sharks to confront and which ones to avoid?
Yeah, because you don't want to go around punching every shark in the nose.
No, exactly.
That's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, takes discernment, right?
Okay.
Not all sharks are worth fighting.
Right.
Sometimes strategic retreat is the wisest move.
Okay.
But the principle is about recognizing those moments when we need to summon our courage.
Okay.
Stand up for what we believe in and refuse to be intimidated
By the challenge.
by whatever challenge we're facing.
Okay, so it's about choosing your battles wisely.
Yeah.
But when it's time to fight,
You fight.
you fight with everything you've got.
Yeah, for sure.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, this next principle seems deeply resonant. Be your very best in the darkest moment.
Oh, that's a good one.
Why is this so crucial?
Well, McRaven talks about how SEAL training really prepares you to perform under immense pressure when the stakes are the highest.
Right.
Right. And it's in those moments of crisis when everything's on the line
Yeah.
that our true character is revealed.
Yeah, it's easy to stay calm and collected when everything's going smoothly.
Yeah, totally.
But what about when things fall apart?
Right.
How do you cultivate that inner strength
That's the question.
to be able to handle the really tough situations?
Yeah, it's about developing that grace under pressure.
Okay.
Right. That ability to stay focused, make rational decisions,
Yeah.
lead with courage.
And do all that while you're like super stressed out.
Exactly. Even when you're facing your worst fears.
Right.
It's about cultivating your inner strength so you can be a source of support
Yeah.
for others when they need it most.
All right. This next principle seems a little bit counterintuitive, but I'm intrigued.
Okay.
Principle number 9 is start singing when you're up to your neck in mud.
Oh, man, I love this one.
Wait, what?
So McRaven describes this brutal training exercise where they're submerged in freezing mud.
Oh, God.
Exhausted, miserable, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And then someone starts singing.
Really?
But then another guy joins in.
Wow.
And pretty soon, they're all singing.
That's amazing.
Finding this sliver of joy in the midst of utter misery.
So it's about like finding that spark of hope, that bit of light, even when you're surrounded by darkness.
Yeah, 100%.
But how do you do that?
Yeah.
When you feel like you're literally drowning in mud?
Yeah, that's the question.
Does it speak?
It's about choosing to focus on something positive, even when it feels impossible.
Correct.
It's about remembering that even in the toughest times,
Yeah.
there's always something to be grateful for, something to smile about.
Okay.
And, it's not just about personal resilience either.
Oh, okay.
It's about how that positive energy can actually be contagious.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
So
Yeah.
by choosing optimism, you're not just helping yourself. You're also potentially lifting the spirits of everyone around you.
Exactly. So powerful.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, and now on to the grand finale, principle number 10.
Okay.
Never, ever quit.
Classic.
This one feels pretty self-explanatory, but I'm sure McRaven has a unique perspective on it.
Oh, yeah. He's adamant about this one.
Okay.
He's like, quitting guarantees failure, while persistence, even against impossible odds, keeps the possibility of success alive.
So it's about like having that unwavering belief in yourself,
Yes.
in your mission, and refusing to let setbacks define you.
Totally.
So it's about digging deep, tapping into that inner reservoir of strength,
Yeah.
and refusing to give up on your dreams.
Yes.
Even when the going gets tough.
Even when it's really hard.
Right?
Yeah. It's about having that grit, that tenacity to keep pushing forward,
Yeah.
even when you feel like stopping.
Yeah.
And it's about recognizing that the path to success, it's rarely linear.
Right. It's not just a straight line. It's not a straight line.
You're going to encounter obstacles and detours and all kinds of craziness.
Exactly. And it's how we respond to those challenges that ultimately determines whether we achieve our goals.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. We've covered so much ground already, from making our beds
Oh, no, right.
to facing down sharks
It's a journey.
and singing in the mud.
Yeah.
It's incredible how McRaven kind of weaves together all of these seemingly disparate experiences
Yeah.
into a cohesive blueprint for success. But how do we take these principles
That's the question.
and actually apply them to our own lives?
Right.
Like, it all sounds great in theory,
Yeah.
but what about in practice?
Yeah, that's where the rubber meets the road, right?
Totally.
It's easy to get inspired,
Yeah.
but translating those ideas into action, that's the work.
That's the real challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can't wait to dive deeper into that.
Me too.
All right. We're back and ready to get practical.
Yeah, let's do it.
We've unpacked these 10 principles.
But how do we actually apply them to our lives?
Right.
Like, where do we even start?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is?
So, it's easy to get inspired by these ideas.
Yeah.
But translating them into action, that's where the real work begins.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So let's say someone's feeling stuck.
Okay.
Maybe they're struggling to reach a goal or just feeling overwhelmed by life. Which principle would you suggest they focus on first?
It might sound too simple, but I'd actually go back to principle 1.
Okay.
Start your day with a task completed.
Right.
Even if it's as small as making your bed,
Yeah.
that small act can really shift your mindset.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's about building that momentum, proving to yourself that you can get things done.
Exactly.
Okay, but what about bigger challenges?
Okay.
Like, let's say you're facing a project that feels super daunting,
Yeah.
or you're dealing with a difficult situation at work.
Right.
How do these principles apply then?
I think that's where you can't go it alone really comes in.
Okay.
It's easy to isolate yourself when you're stressed or feeling overwhelmed. But honestly, that's often when we need connection the most.
Right. So even if it feels counterintuitive,
Yes.
reaching out to your support system is crucial.
It is. It is so crucial. And it's not a sign of weakness to ask for help.
Right.
In fact, studies show that people with strong social support networks are much better equipped to deal with stress
Okay.
and adversity. They're more resilient. They recover faster from setbacks.
Okay.
They're generally more successful in achieving their goals.
So it's not even just about like feeling better emotionally.
Right.
It actually impacts your ability to perform and succeed.
Totally. Yeah.
That's fascinating.
It makes you think about who you're surrounding yourself with, right?
Yeah.
And how those relationships are actually contributing to your overall well-being.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's about recognizing that we're not meant to go through life alone. We need people we can lean on, who can offer different perspectives, challenge us to grow, and celebrate those wins with us.
And sometimes it's not even about like having someone solve your problems.
Right.
It's just about having someone to listen
Yes.
and empathize with what you're going through.
100%.
Yeah.
That validation and understanding, it can make a huge difference in how you approach a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And remember, McRaven emphasizes that only the size of your heart matters.
Right.
Sometimes it's not about having the most experience or the most resources. It's about having the grit and determination to keep going.
Even when things get tough.
Even when things get really tough.
Yeah, and that ties back to that idea of growth mindset.
Yeah.
Like believing that you can learn and adapt and overcome those obstacles.
Totally.
Even if you don't feel like an expert right now.
100%.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, and it's about like focusing on effort and progress, not perfection.
Right.
And then, when you inevitably face setbacks, which you will, that's where that get over being a sugar cookie really comes in.
Now, okay, I am really starting to appreciate this sugar cookie analogy.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is. It's a good reminder that life isn't always fair.
No, it's not.
But it's how we respond to those unfair situations that really matters.
Totally. So how do you bounce back from a setback when it feels like you've been totally knocked down?
That's a good question.
It's about like acknowledging your feelings.
Okay.
Allowing yourself to feel frustrated or disappointed, but not letting those emotions paralyze you.
Okay.
It's about shifting your focus from what you can't control to what you can influence.
Right. So instead of dwelling on the problem itself,
Yes.
you're focusing on finding a solution or at least a way to move forward.
Exactly.
It's about taking action.
Yes.
Even if it's a small step.
100%.
And sometimes taking action means stepping outside of your comfort zone,
Right.
embracing the challenges that scare you. And that's where don't be afraid of the circus comes in.
There it is.
This principle is so intriguing to me because it seems so counterintuitive.
I know.
Like, why would you intentionally seek out difficult experiences?
It's not about seeking out suffering.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that those experiences, as uncomfortable as they may be, can actually lead to incredible growth.
Okay.
It's about challenging your limits, pushing yourself to discover what you're truly capable of.
It reminds me of the saying, what doesn't challenge you doesn't change you.
I love that. That's so good.
And that growth, that resilience that you build through facing those challenges prepares you for those slide down the obstacle headfirst moments.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Break that one down for me again because it still sounds a little reckless.
I know, right? It's about knowing when to trust your instincts.
Okay.
And take that bold move, even if it feels a bit scary.
Okay.
Recognizing that sometimes calculated risks are necessary to achieve your goals. But how do you know when it's the right time to take a risk?
Yeah.
Like, what if you're just not naturally a risk taker?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I think it's about weighing the potential rewards against the potential consequences. And honestly, sometimes it's about trusting your gut.
Okay.
Sometimes you just have this feeling that you need to go for it.
Right.
Even if you can't fully explain why.
You just know.
You just know. Yeah.
It's about silencing that inner voice of doubt and just taking that leap of faith.
And that takes courage.
It does.
Especially when you're facing a situation that feels intimidating or overwhelming.
Yeah.
And that's where don't back down for the sharks comes in.
This principle is so powerful.
Yeah.
But it also seems like it requires a lot of self-awareness.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, how do you know which sharks are worth confronting and which ones are better to avoid?
That's a great question. And it's about discernment.
Okay.
Right? Not all battles are worth fighting.
Right.
Sometimes the wisest move is to step back, assess the situation, choose a different path.
Yeah. Okay.
But there are other times when we need to stand our ground, face our fears, and refuse to be intimidated.
So it's about knowing your own limits.
Yeah.
But also knowing when it's time to push those limits and stand up for what you believe in.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. And remember, when you're facing those really tough moments, when everything seems to be falling apart, that's when be your very best in the darkest moments comes into play.
Oh, that's a powerful reminder.
It is.
Right? Like our true character is revealed not when things are easy, but when we're facing adversity.
Right, exactly.
But how do you maintain your composure
and
make good decisions when you're under that kind of pressure?
Yeah, That's the million-dollar question.
It's about developing that inner resilience,
Okay.
that ability to stay calm and focused,
Right.
even when everything around you feels chaotic. And it's about trusting that you have the resources and the strength to navigate those difficult situations.
Okay, so it's about building that mental toughness.
Yeah.
So you can kind of be like the steady hand, voice of reason when everyone else is panicking.
100%.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Okay, now on to a principle that always brings a smile to my face.
Okay.
Start singing when you're up to your neck in mud.
Oh, I love it.
This one seems so simple, yet so profound.
I know, right?
What's the magic behind this?
It's about choosing optimism,
Okay.
even when it feels impossible.
Right.
It's about finding that spark of joy, that sliver of hope,
Yeah.
even when you're surrounded by darkness.
Yeah.
And it's not just about personal resilience either.
Okay.
It's about how that positive energy can actually be contagious.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
So by choosing to focus on the good,
Yeah,
even in the midst of a difficult situation,
totally.
you're not just helping yourself, you're potentially lifting the spirits of everyone around you.
Yeah, it's so true.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it goes back to that idea that small actions can have a ripple effect,
Yeah.
right? Like you never know who might be watching you, who might be inspired by your resilience, your optimism,
Yeah.
your determination.
Okay. And finally, we arrive at the principle that underpins all the others.
Okay.
Never ever quit.
Yes, love it.
This one feels so self-explanatory. But I'm guessing there's more to it than just not giving up.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that the path to success,
Yeah.
it's rarely linear, right?
Right?
There will be obstacles, detours, setbacks along the way.
Absolutely.
It's how we respond to those challenges that ultimately determines whether we achieve our goals.
So it's about having that unwavering belief
Yeah.
in yourself, in your vision, in your ability to overcome whatever obstacles are in your way.
100%.
It's about remembering why you started in the first place, why that goal is so important to you, and letting that vision fuel your persistence, even when you feel like giving up.
Even when you want to quit,
Right.
it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
It's really hard.
But it's about recognizing that, like, the journey is just as important as the destination.
Totally.
And that every step you take, every challenge you overcome is shaping you into the person you're meant to become.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Oh, thanks.
And it reminds us that even when we face setbacks,
Yeah.
even when we make mistakes, those experiences, they're all part of the learning process.
Right.
They're shaping us. They're teaching us valuable lessons and preparing us for the next challenge.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Wow, we've covered so much ground.
I know.
And I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of these principles, but I think we've laid a solid foundation for understanding how they can be applied to real-life situations.
Yeah, for sure.
What are your final thoughts before we move on to the next part of our deep dive?
I would say the key takeaway here is that these principles aren't just for Navy SEALs or people in extreme situations.
Okay.
They're for all of us.
Right.
They're about cultivating that inner strength,
Yeah.
that resilience, that grit that allows us to thrive, to achieve our goals,
Right.
to make a positive impact on the world.
I love that. So as we move into the next segment, I'm excited to hear about real-life examples of people who have embodied these principles and achieved amazing things. You know, it's one thing to talk about theory.
Right.
It's another to see these ideas in action.
Right, totally.
So I think that'll be super inspiring.
I agree. I think hearing those stories is really going to drive home the point that these principles are accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
That even small actions, when grounded in these values, can create incredible results.
I can't wait. We'll be back after a quick break. Okay, so we're back, and I am ready for some real-world inspiration.
All right, let's do it.
We've talked about the 10 principles.
Right.
But now I want to, hear about people who've actually put these into practice and achieved incredible things.
I think you'll be amazed by the range of stories we have.
Okay.
It really shows that McRaven's message, it transcends, any specific field or background. We've got entrepreneurs, artists, activists.
Okay.
everyday people who faced down challenges and came out stronger on the other side.
Okay, let's start with someone who embodies that never give up spirit.
Okay.
Who comes to mind?
How about Malala Yousafzai?
Oh, yeah.
The young Pakistani activist who was shot by the Taliban for advocating for girls' education.
Right.
I mean, she could have easily retreated into fear and silence.
Yeah.
After that horrific experience.
It's hard to even imagine going through something like that.
Absolutely. And yet, instead of giving up, she became this global symbol of courage and resilience. She used her platform to continue fighting for education and equality. Talk about refusing to back down from the sharks.
That is a powerful example of turning pain into purpose.
Yeah.
You know, like she didn't let that experience define her.
Right.
She used it to fuel her mission.
Totally.
It's incredibly inspiring.
And it shows that, even in the face of truly daunting obstacles, we have the power to choose resilience.
Right.
Find our voice. Make a difference.
Okay, love that.
So speaking of making a difference, another person who comes to mind is Dr. Jane Goodall.
Oh, yes.
The renowned primatologist.
I love her work.
I know, me too.
She revolutionized our understanding of chimpanzees, spending decades in the Tanzanian jungle, challenging the scientific establishment with her groundbreaking observations.
Yeah.
She definitely embodies that slide down the obstacle headfirst spirit.
Right. And think about the time when this was happening. Like, women in science faced immense barriers.
Absolutely.
And yet she forged her own path.
Yeah.
Driven by passion and a willingness to defy expectations.
And think about, like, the conditions she faced.
I know, it's wild.
Living in a remote jungle.
Yeah.
Dealing with the skepticism from colleagues, the sheer physical and mental demands of her research.
Totally. It's a testament to her get over being a sugar cookie attitude.
It is.
She did not let any of that stop her.
And it's that, like, relentless pursuit of knowledge, that unwavering commitment to her work that makes her such an inspiration.
It's so true. And her story also really highlights the importance of you can't go it alone, right? She built a team of dedicated researchers. She collaborated with local communities, and she inspired countless others to join her cause.
Exactly. It reminds us that even the most groundbreaking achievements often involve collaboration, shared passion, a supportive network.
Okay, now for someone who embodies that start singing when you're up to your neck in mud principle, how about Nelson Mandela?
Oh, wow. Yes.
Imprisoned for 27 years.
Right.
For fighting apartheid in South Africa.
Right.
Imagine the despair, the isolation, the seemingly insurmountable odds.
Yeah, it's hard to even fathom.
It is. It's mind-blowing.
How do you even begin to cultivate that kind of inner strength?
Yeah, it's about finding meaning and purpose, even in the darkest of places.
Yeah.
Mandela didn't just survive those years. He thrived spiritually, right?
Yeah.
He used that time to educate himself, connect with fellow prisoners, nurture his vision for a free and equal South Africa.
So he basically turned a situation that could have broken him into an opportunity for growth and transformation.
100%. It's so powerful.
And it shows that, like, even when we're facing seemingly impossible circumstances, we always have the power to choose how we respond. You know? We can choose hope over despair, love over hate, forgiveness over bitterness.
Exactly. It's profound.
Those are powerful choices, and they require, like, a lot of inner strength.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it's inspiring to see that it is possible to find that strength even in the most challenging situations.
Yeah. And remember, these aren't just stories of famous people.
Right.
You know, everyone listening has likely had their own make your bed moments.
Oh, that's so true.
Right. Those times they dug deep, pushed through, achieved something they didn't think was possible.
Yeah, it might be that time you aced a presentation you were terrified of.
Totally.
Or finally kicked a bad habit.
Yeah.
Or supported a friend through a tough time. You know, those everyday triumphs.
Yeah.
Those moments where we choose courage, resilience, kindness.
It's
those are the building blocks of a meaningful life.
Beautifully said. It's about recognizing those small victories. Celebrating our progress. Remembering that even the tiniest acts of courage can have a ripple effect.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive into Admiral McRaven's Make Your Bed, what's the one key takeaway that you hope our listeners walk away with?
I hope they realize that these principles,
Yeah.
they're not just like a list of rules
Okay.
or tips. They're a way of life.
Okay.
They're about cultivating those qualities. The resilience, the optimism, the determination that allows us to thrive, to achieve our goals,
Right.
to make a positive impact on the world.
And they're available to all of us.
Yes.
No matter where we are in life or what challenges we're facing.
It's true. It's about making that choice every single day.
Okay.
To show up as the best version of ourselves.
Yeah.
To embrace the challenges and to never, ever give up on our dreams.
What a powerful message to end on.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So as you go about your day, remember to make your bed.
Literally and metaphorically.
Yes,
exactly.
Embrace those small wins. Find your tribe, face your fears, and keep singing even when you're up to your neck in mud. Yeah, you got this.
You do. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
And keep making your bed.
Yes, make your bed.